All right, you degenerates, welcome back. It's Ya Boy Lamb, back for another episode of the Drunken Rant Uncensored. And of course, as always, I'm joined by the lovely and brilliant Olivia.
Hey everybody! Ready to have your minds blown?
I think they are. You know it. Today we're diving into a story so wild it's going to make your head spin faster than a stripper on a Saturday night.
Oh my god.
We're calling this one. From Donuts to Dictators, the J.J. Holding Company story.
Ooh, that's a good one. Buckle up, buttercups. Because we're about to expose the dark underbelly of a corporate empire that's been hiding in plain sight. Ever scarfed down a Krispy Kreme, rocked a pair of Jimmy Choos, or grabbed a quick Pret amends your lunch?
I love Pret.
You probably sipped on a Dr. Pepper too, right?
Yeah.
What if we told you there's one company behind all of these iconic brands and that they have a history darker than a double shot of espresso?
I love espresso. I mean, who doesn't love coffee? Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. We're talking Nazi ties, forced labor, and a family secret that's so twisted, it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about these everyday brands.
So grab your drinks, light up a fat one, and get ready for a wild ride as we expose the truth behind JB Holding Company.
All right, so first things first, let's set the scene. We're talking about a company that owns a shit ton of brands you probably interact with on a daily basis. Krispy Kreme, Panera Bread, Keurig Dr. Pepper. They've got their fingers in all sorts of pot.
Yeah, they're like the corporate version of a goddamn octopus.
Yeah.
Reaching their tentacles into every corner of the market.
It's true.
But behind this facade of sweet treats and caffeinated beverages lies a dark and disturbing past.
Oh, yeah. In 2019, a German newspaper dropped a bombshell revealing that the founders of JB Holding, Albert Ryman Sr. and Jr., were hardcore Nazi supporters, and not just like, oh, I kind of agree with some of their policies supporters. We're talking full-on goose-stepping, Heil Hitler enthusiasts.
Shit. Those glazed donuts just got a whole lot less appealing, huh?
I know. It gets worse. Not only were these guys cheering on the Nazi regime, but they were also using Russian civilians and prisoners of war as forced labor during World War II. We're talking about blatant exploitation of innocent people for their own profit.
It's fucked up, right? They were making bank while these poor bastards were slaving away in their factories, and they tried to sweep it all under the rug for decades.
They did. So how did this all come out? Well, like I said, a German newspaper decided to dig into their past and uncover this nasty little secret. Once they started looking, it was like opening Pandora's box. All this dirt came pouring out.
And I bet JB Holding was shitting bricks when the story broke. What did they do? Tried to deny it all.
Well, with all the evidence staring them in the face, they couldn't exactly play the denial card. They issued some carefully worded statement expressing regret and promising to do better.
Regret. That's all they got. Oops, sorry we exploited thousands of people and helped fuel a genocidal regime. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, it sounds pretty hollow, doesn't it? But hold on to your hats, folks, because here's where it gets even crazier. The New York Times published a story about Ryman Jr. having a Jewish mistress whose family was murdered in those goddamn extermination camps.
Wait, hold the phone. You're telling me this dude was a Nazi sympathizer who used forced labor and was screwing a Jewish woman at the same time? What a hypocritical piece of shit.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Talk about a messed up family dynamic.
Oh my God, I bet that family reunion was a real hoot. But seriously, imagine discovering that your family was wiped out by the very regime your grandfather supported while he was banging your grandmother. That's some next-level fucked up irony.
I know, it's tragic, and it raises so many questions about complicity, hypocrisy, and the legacy of evil.
So what did they do about it? Did they suddenly have a change of heart and start serving gefilte fish at Krispy Kreme?
Sadly, no. But to try and atone for their sins, JB established the Alfred Landecker Foundation, named after the Jewish mistress's father, who was murdered by the Nazis.
Oh, so they're trying to buy back their good name with blood money, huh?
Well, it's certainly a complex situation. On the one hand, you've got this dark, horrific history of Nazi collaboration and exploitation. And then on the other hand, they're trying to make amends by funding Holocaust remembrance projects.
It's like trying to wash blood off your hands with champagne.
It's true.
But I guess it's better than doing nothing right.
Yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction. But the question remains, can a company truly atone for its past, especially one as horrific as this? And are we as consumers complicit in their success by continuing to support their brands?
That's a heavy question, Olivia. I think I need another drink to ponder that one. But before I do, I gotta ask, there's more to this story, isn't there?
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. The Ryman family saga has more twists and turns than a drunken game of Twister. Stay tuned, folks, because this shit's about to get even wilder.
Oh God, I can't wait. All right, you drunken degenerates, welcome back for round 2. Hope you refilled your glasses because we're about to dive deeper into the twisted world of JB Holding.
That's right.
Last we left off, we were trying to wrap our heads around JB's attempt at atonement for their Nazi-stained past, throwing millions of euros at Holocaust remembrance projects. Is it genuine remorse or just a PR stunt to save their asses?
Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow.
I know, right?
But honestly, even if those Rymans are just trying to polish their image, at least some good is coming out of it, right? I mean, funding Holocaust education is a hell of a lot better than, denying the whole damn thing ever happened.
True. That's true. But it doesn't erase the fact that they're still profiting from a legacy built on exploitation and forced labor. It's like trying to scrub bloodstains off a diamond. The sparkle might distract you, but the stain remains.
Yeah, that's a dark analogy.
Yeah,
but you're right. This whole thing is just one giant moral clusterfuck.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here? What else is there to uncover about these JB jokers?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, remember how we talked about them going on a buying spree? Snapping up companies like a kid in a candy store? It turns out there's a method to their madness. They're not just hoarding brands like a bunch of greedy goblins.
Hold on. You're telling me there's actually a strategy behind all this corporate chaos? I thought they were just drunk on power and Dr. Pepper.
Oh, there's plenty of that going on too. But they've been incredibly strategic about the companies they've acquired. They're focusing on building a global empire in a few key areas: coffee, fast food, and pet care.
Coffee, I get. Those Rymans are practically mainlining caffeine at this point. But pet care, that seems like a weird left turn.
Think about it. The pet care industry is booming. People are treating their furry friends like royalty these days, spending more money on them than ever before. It's a recession-proof market with huge growth potential.
True. My cat eats better than I do most weeks. But what about fast food? I thought those guys were all about fancy coffee and overpriced sandwiches.
They are. But they're also savvy investors. They recognize that fast food is a massive global market with consistent demand. And they've been strategically acquiring chains that cater to different demographics and tastes.
So they're covering all the bases. High-end coffee for the snobs, cheap eats for the masses, and gourmet kibble for the pampered pets. They've got us coming and going.
Exactly. They're creating a diversified portfolio that minimizes risk and maximizes profits. It's a classic business strategy, but they're executing it on a global scale. It's like they're playing 4D chess while the rest of us are struggling with checkers.
Damn, these guys are ruthless.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to shake things up either. Merging companies, streamlining operations. They're all about efficiency, even if it means screwing over a few employees along the way.
It's a cutthroat world out there.
Yeah.
And JB Holding is playing to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been doing a damn good job of it so far. They've become one of the most powerful and influential companies in the world, all while keeping their family's dirty little secret under wraps for decades.
Until that German newspaper decided to air their dirty laundry, that is. It's a testament to their ability to control the narrative, manipulate the media, and protect their image.
They're like the goddamn Illuminati of the corporate world. But even with all this bad press, they're still raking in billions. It's almost like they're too big to fail at this point.
It's a disturbing thought, isn't it? They've become so powerful that they seem to be above accountability, but that doesn't mean we're powerless.
So what can we do? Stage a protest outside every Krispy Kreme in the country? Dump our Dr. Pepper down the drain?
Well, those are options, but probably not the most effective. We have choice. We can choose to support companies that align with our values, even if it means paying a little extra or going out of our way.
Voting with our wallets, huh? It's not always easy, especially when those goddamn glazed donuts are calling my name.
It's a struggle, I know. But the more aware we are of these issues, the better equipped we are to make informed choices as consumers.
Right on, Olivia. Knowledge is power. Even when it comes to something as seemingly trivial as our coffee and donut choices.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of where our money is going and who's profiting from it. Because every dollar we spend is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in.
Damn, that's deep, Olivia. I'm starting to feel all philosophical and shit. Maybe it's time for another.
Maybe just a sip. We still need to get through the rest of this story, and trust me, it's only going to get wilder from here.
All right, hit me with it. What other crazy shit have you dug up on these Rymans? They've already got Nazi ties, forced labor, and a secret Jewish mistress. What else could they possibly throw at us?
Well, remember how I said this saga has more twists and turns than a drunken game of Twister? Get ready for this. The Rymans discovered they have Jewish heritage.
Wait, what the actual fuck? You're kidding, right?
Yeah.
The Nazi-loving family turns out to have Jewish roots. This is some next-level mindfuckery.
I know, right? It sounds like something out of a bad soap opera.
Oh my god. So how did they find out? Did they do one of those ancestry DNA tests and get a big surprise in the mail?
Nope. It's even more dramatic than that. Remember Ryman Jr., the dude with the Jewish mistress? Well, it turns out his mistress, Emily Landecker, was the daughter of a Jewish man named Alfred Landecker.
So the mistress was Jewish, and her father was killed by the Nazis. Holy shit, the irony is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
You got that right. And it gets even more twisted. Emily's mother was Catholic, so she is baptized as Catholic too. The Rymans had no idea about her Jewish heritage until recently.
Wait, so the Rymans had a Jewish grandchild this whole time and didn't even know it. Talk about a family reunion from hell.
It's a mind-blowing revelation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it makes you wonder how many other families have similar secrets buried in their past.
I bet there are skeletons hiding in every closet in Europe.
Yeah.
But back to the Rymans. What did they do when they found out about their Jewish heritage? Did they suddenly have a change of heart and start serving bagels and lox at Krispy Kreme?
Not quite. But they did double down on their efforts to atone for their past. Remember that Alfred Landecker Foundation we talked about?
Mm-hmm.
They renamed it after Emily's father and doubled its budget to a whopping 25 million euros.
Damn, that's a lot of dough. They're practically drowning in guilt money at this point.
Well, some might say it's a step in the right direction. They're using that money to fund projects that honor the victims of the Holocaust and Nazism.
Sure. But is it enough to erase their family's complicity in those atrocities? It's like trying to put out a fire with a squirt gun.
That's the big question, isn't it? Can money truly make amends for such horrific acts? And does it absolve the Ryman family of their responsibility?
It's a tough one. I guess it's up to each individual to decide whether they can stomach supporting a company with such a dark past.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just JB Holding Company. There are countless other companies out there with skeletons in their closets. It's important to be aware of the history behind the brands we support and to make informed choices as consumers.
You know what? This whole story is giving me a headache. I need another drink. And I think our listeners do too.
Cheers to that. And remember, folks, knowledge is power. The more you know about the companies you support, the better equipped you are to make ethical choices.
Damn right. So next time you reach for that Dr. Pepper or Krispy Kreme, think about the Ryman family's legacy and decide for yourself whether you can stomach it.
It's food for thought, isn't it?
It is.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We've got more juicy details to uncover in the next segment.
Stay tuned, folks. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll be back soon with more dirt on JB Holding Company. All right, you drunken bastards, welcome back to the final round. We're 3 sheets to the wind and ready to finish this bottle of truth.
Let's do it.
Olivia hit us with the final chapter in the GB saga.
All right, so last we left off, the Rymans discovered their own Jewish heritage.
I know.
Talk about a plot twist, right?
Ain't it crazy?
And they doubled down on their attempts at atonement, pumping millions of euros into the Alfred Landecker Foundation. But is it enough? Can you really erase a Nazi-stained past with a big fat check?
Hell, I don't know. It's a question that's haunted philosophers and theologians for centuries. Can you ever truly atone for the sins of the father? Or are we all just destined to inherit the bloodstains of history?
Deep thoughts for a drunken rant.
No.
But you're right, it's a question without easy answers. So let's look at what the foundation is actually doing. They're funding projects related to Holocaust remembrance, education, promoting tolerance, and fighting anti-Semitism. They've even partnered with organizations like the Holocaust Educational Trust and the Anti-Defamation League.
Okay, so they're putting their money where their mouth is, at least to some extent. But is it actually making a difference? Or is it just a fancy PR campaign to make themselves look less like the corporate devils they are?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Some people see it as a genuine attempt to make amends, to use their wealth for good and honor the memory of the victims. Others see it as a cynical attempt to buy back their reputation and silence their critics.
It's hard to know what's really going on in their heads. Are they truly remorseful? Or are they just trying to protect their precious profits? Maybe it's a bit of both.
I think it's probably a mix of motivations, but at the end of the day, it's up to each individual to decide whether they believe these actions are enough.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a messy situation. And there are no easy answers. But hey, That's what makes for a good drunken rant, right?
Damn right. We're all about exploring the complexities and contradictions of the world, even if it leaves us with more questions than answers.
So what about the future of JB Holding? Are they just going to keep gobbling up companies and growing bigger and more powerful?
That's the trend we've seen so far, and there's no sign of them slowing down. They've got their tentacles in so many industries now, it's hard to imagine them not continuing to expand their empire.
Damn, it's like a corporate hydra. Cut off one head and two more grow back in his place. Pretty soon they're going to own everything. And we'll all be living in a JB-branded world.
It's a concern for sure. The more power they accumulate, the more influence they have over our lives. They control what we eat, what we drink, even the care our pets receive.
It's enough to make you want to become a goddamn hermit and live off the grid. But then who'd listen to our awesome podcast?
Exactly. We need to stay informed and engaged. Even when it feels overwhelming, we can't let these corporate giants lull us into complacency.
So what can we do? Are we just pawns in their game?
We're not powerless. As consumers, we have choices. We can choose to support companies that align with our values, even if it means paying a little extra or going out of our way.
Voting with our wallets, huh? It's not always easy, but it's a start.
It's about being mindful and making conscious decisions. We need to be aware of where our money is going and who's profiting from it.
Damn right. We need to wake up and smell the coffee, people. Or maybe not, considering who owns most of it.
Touché. But seriously, folks, knowledge is power. The more we know about the companies we support, the better equipped we are to make ethical choices.
All right, folks. I think that's it for this deep dive. We squeezed every last drop of truth out of this bottle.
We did.
And it has been a wild ride. Olivia, thanks for taking us on this drunken deep dive into the world of JB Holding.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure ranting with you.
Now it's time for us to refill our glasses and ponder the moral dilemmas of corporate greed. But before we do, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think about this whole JB Holding saga. Does knowing their history change how you feel about their brands? Are you going to boycott their products? Or are you just going to shrug it off and keep enjoying your Krispy Kremes and Dr. Peppers?
Hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thanks for tuning in to the Drunken Rant Uncensored. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about the show. The more people we can wake up to the realities of corporate greed, the better.
Cheers to that. Stay thirsty for knowledge, my friends. And remember, don't drink and drive.
Thanks once again, and we'll see you on the next